I just came from watching The Quiet Place. It's really quiet. It was directed by John Krasinski and stars in it too as the father of the family of the movie. It also stars Emily Blunt, who happens to be his spouse in real life. This must have really homed in crazy. But, the truth is, this movie, I just came from watching it and I bugged out. This was a good movie. I really enjoyed it. It kept me at the edge of my seat. People in the theater, you could tell, I was able to tell that they were into it too. They were like gasping and oh my god, and all this crazy stuff that happened throughout the film. It has the whole concept of humanity being pretty much attacked and invaded by some kind of an alien life form. And apparently, this alien life form doesn't see very well. As a matter of fact, I think they're kind of blind. What it does is any sound any creature makes, forget humans, anything, any sound that any living thing makes, it attacks it, it kills it, it rips it apart. So this family, well into this kind of alien invasion apocalypse, find ways throughout the film to try to survive. They go through these, they have a system, they have a setup, they have this way of trying to survive and make sure that they're safe. And they live out in this remote area, not far from the woods and everything, and they just try to survive day by day in complete and total silence. Now, some questions came up in my head about that. I'm like, well, what happened? Why, you can't sneeze? And what if you cough? Here's one that bothers me. What happens when you sleep? Do you snore? It was well directed. The story was so solid. The acting was amazing. It was the father, the mother, and two kids. One of them, actually, there were three kids in essence. But one of them is a girl, and she can't hear. She's actually deaf, so it's a big disadvantage. However, later on in the film, it kind of helps her. In fact, it helps the whole family in that respect. It's an interesting idea of how do you survive in total silence so that you don't get ripped apart by these creatures that their best ability, their best way to get to you is simply by hearing you. And where do these creatures come from anyway? I mean, you could tell early on in the film that this was some kind of a so-called alien invasion, but the real point of the movie is not even that. And the real point of the movie isn't really so much about the nature of these creatures at all, aside from the fact that they are blind and they can totally like kill you and grab you as soon as they hear you. It's not even about their intelligence either. I thought they were an intelligent species when I saw the trailer, but if the movie gives anything quickly away, and again, this isn't really the point of the film, so I don't really have a problem saying it. They're not really, they don't seem to have an intelligence. I think they're more instinctual. However, who's really intelligent is this family. And the movie basically really gives this whole thing about survival. How do you survive an apocalyptic situation like this? We've seen a similar thing in other films. You know what I mean? Where there's zombies, there's aliens, there's things that humanity is like put to the test. Well, this family is put to the test. And it's put to the test in ways that I never even thought would happen in this scenario. And that's why I like this movie so much. It's so unique. Gripped everybody. It wasn't so much a horror film, even though I am putting it under that, because it did have its jump moments and its oh my god moments. It had a more of a thriller kind of sense to it, and a lot of drama. Like, you really connected with the characters. You really felt what the mom was going through. You really felt what the girl was going through, what the boy was going through. I mean, everybody had their own issue with what was going on. And it struck a chord in me because, me being a husband and a father, what would I do in a situation like that? How would I protect my family against something like that? And this movie brought about those kind of questions in me. I'm like, my God, I'm so glad this is so, fictional, you know, because there's so much real issues in the world right now, and there are families that do struggle and try to survive under horrible conditions. Just this wouldn't be one of them. I definitely recommend seeing this movie. You won't be disappointed if you're really into thriller and suspense and oh my God, what is this family gonna do? That kind of film. If you're into that kind of film, A Quiet Place will do you fine. So I'm gonna give this the horror and coffee rating, and I'm gonna give this movie 3 coffee cups. It's pretty good. It's a nice brew. It tasted well. The ending was pretty cool too. It's like, you know, you kind of get a sense of, you know what, in spite of an alien invasion that like wipes out most of humanity in some kind of like pseudo extinction event, you know that humanity just doesn't go down that easy. It raises questions about the survivalist spirit of the human condition. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about families that have to be subjected to this kind of horror in this kind of world. I would actually like to see another movie about this same scenario. You know, maybe if the movie starts off like already well into the situation, you know, I would like to see a movie on to see how this whole thing just started out, how this happened. You know, where did these creatures come from? What is their nature? You know, who sent them? Actually, a part of it kind of reminded me of Cloverfield in a way. You know, it had a kind of Cloverfieldish sense to it. Like, you know, this whole thing about monsters invading the earth and people trying to survive it. So, when you get a chance this weekend, go see A Quiet Place. And when you do, share with me, talk to me about your thoughts, about what you thought of The Quiet Place. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Please comment below. If you like what you see here, please consider subscribing. Oh, by the way, before I leave, this Wednesday, Wide Range Media is going to have its 60th episode, and we're going to be doing a live stream right here on YouTube on Wide Range Media, on the Wide Range Media channel with myself, my 2 friends, Alex and Pablo, and Silvio as well. You know, we're going to talk about cool stuff, and just tune in and join the chat live this Wednesday at 9 o'clock. This is Ralph Perez from Strange Planet. Take care.